everyone, my name is Jessica Featherstone and I am the owner of Close to the Heart. Today I wanted to take a moment and talk to you about the ring sling. I personally love ring slings. They're excellent for newborns and they're also great for toddlers. They're really, once you get the pattern down of the ring sling, they can be really quick to put on and take off. Newborns especially come in and out of the ring sling so much that they're great to just keep on as much as you can. So today we're going to talk through how to get your ring sling on and your ring sling off. I today am using a Studio Techni ring sling. This is a cotton linen blend. I really enjoy this brand because it's nice, it's lightweight, it's great for summer, and it's also great in winter as well. So it's a great all around. So I am right hand dominant, which means that I want to use my right hand most of the time. You can also use your left if you're left hand dominant. Just that's going to put the rings over on your left. So, since I am right hand dominant, I'm going to show you how to do that. And I'll also show you how to do it if you want to have the rings on your left side. Basically, think about which hand you want that's not going to be encumbered by a baby butt. So, for me, that is my right hand. I write with it. I do mostly everything with it. So, I take the sling in my right hand, and I actually take the rings into my right hand. This is already pre-threaded. I'm going to do a video next week on how to thread this for you. So that way, because there's a lot to learn, so I don't want to overwhelm. So I have it in my right hand, and I have this end piece out to the right. And to get the sling on, I'm going to take my left hand through this loop that is created, up and over. For those of you who are left hand dominant, you're going to do basically the same thing, but on your left. So we take it into our left hand. I have the sling. I'm holding it by the rings. I take this end piece, this adjusting piece out to the left, and I take my right hand through the loop, up and over. So my right hand, right, adjusting piece out to the right, left hand through, up and over. The first thing that I think about is I'm going to use the cue wash my back. So I take this outer edge and I'm looking for the bottom edge of my sling, and I found it, and I'm going to wash my back. And the reason is that's going to let that ring sling expand, and we don't have any pressure. We'll have less pressure points with or none of the fabric pressing into our body, which is really important for our comfort, because a carrier should be comfortable. If it's not, you're not going to use it. So now I'm going to bring all this forward, and I think, okay, I just need enough room to fit a baby butt in. And you know, newborns, you're going to not need that much room because they have tiny little butts. They're so cute. So I'm going to take this whole adjusting piece, and I'm going to pull it all back towards itself where I have just enough room to slip a baby through. I'm going to make sure that my top and my bottom are pretty equal. So I'm going to pull it out. And you can see here my bottom is a lot further out than my top piece. So I'm just going to say, okay, this piece here, that matches this bottom here. And I'm just going to pull that ever so slightly. So now these two will match. My last bit before I put the baby into the sling is I take these rings and I move them up my body. And I'm going to adjust the shoulder. I like it when the shoulder cups my arm ever so slightly, and I always make sure that none of this fabric is in my neck. And that's really important to me for my fit and comfort. You may like it just like this, or you may like it further down your shoulder. I highly suggest you try it out and play and see which way is best for you. You'll figure it out pretty soon how you like it. So I like it slightly cupped. Now I also want to move this up into, we have a little divot, clavicle is right here. Right into here is a great spot for your ring sling. We do not want any pressure onto the breast because that could create issues. Even if you're not breastfeeding, it still can be very tender and painful. So we want to make sure it's up and out of the way. So I'm just checking. Now I'm ready for a baby. I'm going to use my quote-unquote newborn doll. She is much bigger than I would prefer to give birth to, but she's a newborn doll, promise. And I take her into my left hand, holding her at the hip. And the reason that I choose the hip is because I have a lot of movement capabilities with her. So so she is a newborn, and we're going to use this a lot with our newborns. But my daughter, who's now 6, also still enjoys time in the ring sling, and she's very long-legged. So I need to have the ability to move her legs up, so that way I can pull them in. So with our newborns, we don't have to move far, thankfully. So I'm just going to pull it up. I'm going to take my right hand, come underneath, and grab the feet. And I'm just going to let this baby come down onto my body where I want her to be. I say her a lot because I have a daughter, so I'm just used to that. And I'm going to pull up her back. And I've kind of got her, you'll notice that she is not exactly centered on my body, but she is upright. I think about baby cupping a breast, especially those newborns, because if we try to place them here into the center of our body, they're going to come and basically eat the rings, which may not be comfortable. But you can see here she is upright, which is what I'm going for, and she's gently cupping around a breast, and she's going to be very comfortable there. Now, I am coming underneath the foot that is very visible to me. I'm coming underneath it, and I'm going to come and grab this bottom edge. It's probably like a quarter or a third of the fabric, and what I want you to think about is, instead of thinking about stuffing the fabric up between you, I want you to think about your baby sitting onto a hammock. So grabbing the bottom part, I actually lean forward a little bit to give us a little space between our bodies so that I can rotate the hips so that this baby is sitting and that the fabric is coming from their knee to knee, and they're sitting down into that hammock where their bum is going to be below the knees. This is exactly the feel that I want to do. And I always feel for this foot over here. Me personally, I get this one trapped quite a bit. It's what I do, I guess. So I'm just going to take that down. And that is going to, now I've got baby ready. And now I'm just going to come through and make sure that everything is tight enough. I want baby snug up against my body. Now you'll notice that I'm currently hands-free because I got my baby snug enough I tightened it down the first time well enough that my baby is relatively secure. With that, I always think about the less amount I have to do of tightening when baby is in is better for me personally. Now say that these rings have moved so much and now they're kind of down here. That's okay. We're not tightened down. So I'm just going to take that and I'm actually going to move the whole sling. So you see I took this here and I pushed it up my body. Totally okay. Once your baby is in the sling, it doesn't mean that they're there forever. You can maneuver this to where you and baby are the most comfortable. So I'm going to come again underneath, and I'm going to create that little hammock seat for the doll's name is Selena, so for baby Selena to sit on. And now you'll see that I have quite a bit of fabric up here. That's actually really good to me because I want to make sure that when I tighten here across the shoulders, and that's where I'm going, this is the goal, is to tighten here across the shoulders, that I don't have just a thin amount of fabric, that I have a lot of fabric here that it's going to be more comfortable for my baby. So I'm going to hold my baby tight, and you'll see I have a lot of looseness, so that's fine. I'm just going to bring that over, and I know that that corresponds to this top area here, and I'm just going to pull it back towards itself. And you'll notice that it tightened right down, and baby is now snug in. Some questions you may have that I hear quite a bit is, what does baby do with their arms? Well, newborns, we're going to keep them tucked in. As soon as baby can figure out how to get their arms out of the sling, they can get their arms out of the sling. And so I personally don't bite them too much and just let them have their arms out. By that time, they're not sitting independently, but they do have enough core strength that they are sitting upright on their own in a sling. So that's totally fine. If they want their arms out, let them. With our newborns, we're going to kind of keep everything tucked in. Now you'll notice here that I have my baby up rather high on my body. We always want to keep our baby up closer to our chest because breasts are very heavy and we don't want them to be laying on baby. So up above baby is our best idea. This, if I have a newborn baby and the head is moving quite a bit, and that's, I want to hold their head a little bit less, I can actually take this adjusting piece and just roll it up, taking it across their shoulders and pulling it down and over. And this is going to give a little bit more support and allow baby's head to kind of naturally come closer to our bodies. This is now up in my neck, which is it's uncomfortable to me. That's okay. Remember what I said, we can always move the sling around to where our comfort level is. So I just brought my baby up because it's harder for me to move the sling with the weight of the baby sitting in it. So I brought the sling up and moved it around to where I was comfortable. Slings are a great option. You can constantly move them around to where you find that comfort spot for you. I really love them for newborns because we're in and out so much. So say that this baby is ready to have their diaper changed. Happens 10 times a day. I'm going to undo that little head roll piece. Holding my baby, I'm just going to feel for the exposed ring and pull it back. So now I've got my baby held on, and I am going to take the fabric out from the bottom. I'm switching my hands here so my baby is still tight against my body. I don't want to pull the baby out. I want to keep the baby on my body because this is going to be more comfortable for the baby. So I have made it so it's